This is part 5 of Log Cabin Politics and Manifest Destiny. The United States' Manifest Destiny, as it's called, went into different parts of our nation westward. The major trail that was being utilized by many settlers to move westward into the 1840s and beyond was known as the Oregon Trail. And as seen here on the map below, this trail, which started out in Missouri, Independence, Missouri, and moving westward through Nebraska into Wyoming, was a route that was very, very difficult. And as seen over on the right here, difficult for one reason, that you had to depart in a specific time of the year. Otherwise, you would get caught here in the area of the Rocky Mountains, and it could be very, very devastating. It's a 4 to 6 month trip, 2,000 miles, travel done in wagons, by pack trains, horseback, etc. The bottom line is you had to get through the mountain range to Oregon for fear that you could run into this area during the winter months. The discovery of gold led many people out to the California area using the Oregon Trail. Gold was discovered at what we call Sutter's Fort or Sutter's Mill. It was discovered by an individual, James W. Marshall, and ultimately, though, the finding went to the owner of the place, which was John Sutter. This drove many people in the late 1840s out to California. Another reason for settlement in the West came as a result of religious purposes. Perhaps the greatest migration of individuals were those of the Mormon Faith. And the Mormon Faith dates back to Joseph Smith, and seen here, as the story goes, he was visited by an angel by the name of Moroni, who revealed to him a special book in New York at Mount Kumara, and this led to the Book of Mormon. The Mormons originally settled in the areas of Ohio and out in Illinois, but when given the opportunity to move further westward due to being treated poorly by other faiths, they moved out this way and settled in the area of what we know as the Great Salt Lake or Utah region. The individual that led them out this way was this individual over on the right, Brigham Young, and Brigham Young will establish the Latter-day Saint movement, and this is going to create a tremendous area for them to live. They'll irrigate this area, farm there, and their presence is still there in the Utah region. Some of the other things that will make movement westward even more involved is going to be the transportation and communication breakthroughs. We're going to have steam power, and that steam power will lead to the creation of the Erie Canal. We're going to be seeing locomotive use, Pete Cooper's Tom Thumb, as seen over here. The first locomotive to begin being used on the Ohio Railroad. We will complete the Transcontinental Railroad, and 2 railroads will meet at Promontory Point, Utah, and successfully be able to travel by train across the country. Everywhere we put railroad track, we also implemented telegraph lines, and Samuel B. Morse and his code used along his telegraph line would connect us so that we could actually communicate by way of electrical impulses. And eventually, of course, Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone will revolutionize all of this. Mail carrying, though, the Pony Express also allowed for delivery to the west. All of these things are helping for people to move westward. Back on the East Coast, we have the cities becoming very, very large due to manufacturing. And this manufacturing is being done with building ships and trains, weapons by way of Samuel Colt. We're also seeing breakthroughs in farming equipment, the mechanical reaper, Cyrus McCormick, and this will give rise to basically what is today's Chicago area. And of course, as discussed in previous podcasts and lectures, the textile mills, Samuel Slater in Rhode Island and Lowell's in Massachusetts. As our nation gets larger, we also begin to see it gets larger not just in physical size, but in people. As our nation grows in terms of people, it is not without problems. And we will see that many an immigrant faces a lot of issues, prejudice, poverty, and crime.